Hey, brothers and sisters, it's Brother Matt coming to you here on Sunday night here where I am. And I don't know how your weekend's been. Mine has been quite interesting. And, I just wanted to take a moment to remind everyone that we should celebrate the breakthroughs when they come. And we should remember the things that God has done. We had a situation this weekend that was very upsetting and challenging, and yet in the midst of really a very kind of traumatic moment, we saw someone very close to us rise to the challenge and see their faith really proven out in the way that they responded to a really traumatic moment. And, as I've been reflecting on that, I've just thought, what a time to celebrate what God is doing in this person's life, that they can respond to serious spiritual attack and physical attack with such grace and hope, and just expressing such trust in the Lord. And so, I was reminded earlier today of Joshua chapter 4, where the Israelites are commanded to take up memorial stones from within the midst of the Jordan. This is as they're about to go into the new land and to begin the process of kind of taking the promised land. And when it starts in Joshua chapter 4, this is what it says. It says, Joshua chapter 4, beginning of verse 1, "And it came to pass, when all the people had completely crossed over the Jordan, that the Lord spoke to Joshua, saying, Take for yourselves 12 men from the people, one man from every tribe, and command them, saying, Take for yourselves 12 stones from here, out of the midst of the Jordan, from the place where the priest's feet stood firm. You shall carry them over with you and leave them in the lodging place where you lodge tonight." Then Joshua called the 12 men whom he had appointed from the children of Israel, one man from every tribe. And Joshua said to them, "Cross over before the ark of the Lord your God into the midst of the Jordan, and each one of you take up a stone on his shoulder, according to the number of the tribes of the children of Israel, that this may be a sign among you when your children ask in time to come, saying, What do these stones mean to you? Then you shall answer them that the waters of the Jordan were cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it crossed over the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off, and these stones shall be for memorial to the children of Israel forever." Memorial stones. Remembrance. Those stones were there to remind the people and to be an ongoing testimony to their children and their children's children of the things that God had done, so they wouldn't forget. Because, as time goes on, and especially when you're facing, what they were facing, going into a situation where they were going to face serious hardship and struggle and war against them and all of these other things, the Lord commanded them to take up these stones so that they could remember that they serve a God that is capable of parting the waters, not just of the Red Sea, but also of the Jordan, so that they could walk through on dry ground. And so I think that the concept of the memorial stones and what's described here is important for us to also remember. And so, brothers and sisters, just as a quick encouragement tonight, I just want to remind you to hold on to your memorial stones, no matter what's going on in your life right now. I know many of you in the comments have talked about some of the struggles that you're facing and people in your life that are suffering and all sorts of things like that. In the midst of all that, remember your memorial stones. Think back to the times that God has broken through for you. Think back to the times that you have seen God move. Think back to the times where you saw that God is a faithful God, is a trustworthy God, is a God who speaks and moves and answers prayer. We all should hold on to those memorial stones and to remember the things that God has done, because that is an encouragement to us when things are not going well, when things are hard. We look back to those stones. The Israelites had a city that they would set out for their battles. The city was called Gilgal, and that's where the stones were set up. And so the men would go out to battle, and then they would come back to Gilgal. And when they would come back, maybe they would come back beaten and bruised and broken, and maybe feeling discouraged, maybe feeling like it wasn't going well. And they would come back to Gilgal, and they would see those stones, and they would be reminded of the God they serve. They would be reminded that they serve a mighty God, a God that is powerful, a God that is able to do amazing things, right? And so I just want to send this out just as an encouragement to everybody tonight, that we would remember the things that God has done. Remember the ways that He has broken through for you. So, brothers and sisters, I'm praying for you. I'm grateful for all of you who comment and like and subscribe. Do all of those things, and especially for those of you that are sharing things. And again, I want you guys to know, when you make comments, and especially those of you that ask for prayer, I do pray for you, and I do pray for those things, and I know other people do too. So I'm grateful for that. So I'll be back in just a little while with another of the messages the Lord's given me. But I just wanted to send that encouragement out to you guys tonight. So God bless. Take care.